Authorities recovered the body of a girl swept away by Shoal Creek, plus the aftermath of an elementary school fire and how the community is coming together to clean up. And the latest on a murder investigation in rural southwest Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Zach Dodge in for Tanya Bach. If you plan on attending a Memorial Day ceremony this morning, you probably won't need an umbrella. But that's not the case for this afternoon. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip for a first look at the weather.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Mr. Dodge, because our morning is going to be pretty nice here on this Memorial Day. Live look outside of Television City, but as Zach alluded to, we do have some changes that'll be on us here by the time we close out the holiday. 57 degrees with high humidity sitting at 83%. Give you an idea of the line of rain working all the way from central Texas up through Oklahoma and then to Kansas. Now, we're just seeing a little bit on our far western counties of southeast Kansas. Everything's pretty much going to be able to skirt to the northeast of us all the way through the morning hours. Now, the weather trend we'll show you though. As the clouds build, we will have some rain upon us for the afternoon and evening hours. Big threat though is going to be later tonight into Tuesday. As it progresses through, becomes more widespread for the afternoon. Watch the bottom of your screen there as it continues to roll into Tuesday morning and a good band on us all the way into Tuesday afternoon. That leads us to flood watches for our counties in green. Want to point out these flood warnings actually don't go into effect until midnight. That's why we're not worried about them right now. But once they do begin, they will last all the way until Wednesday morning. We'll be looking at 2 to 3 inches of rain down to the south. Last thing that we need coming off of last week, and rain chances really persisting into the middle of the week. Mild temperatures as well for the next 3 days until we warm up headed into Thursday and Friday.
Wow, that's a lot of rain on the 7-day forecast.
That's the last thing we need down there.
I know,
too.
Right? Man.
Oh, just to put it in perspective real fast, Zach, because I was talking to a couple friends of mine, and they're like, wow, it's just been so wet this year. This point in time last year, we had 8 more inches of rain than what we've had this year.
Okay. I did not expect that. All right. Well, yeah, thanks, Michael. We begin this morning with an update to a story we brought you last week. Crews in Newton County recovered the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by Shoal Creek. Authorities say they found her body just before 7 yesterday, about 3 miles downstream from Lime Kiln Park. Kaylin Brown went missing last Wednesday after being pulled under the water by strong currents. 34-year-old Trevor Hicks also went under while trying to rescue her. Crews rescued Hicks and transported him to the hospital in critical condition. After a fire damaged the elementary school in Altoona, Kansas Saturday, members of the community came out to start the cleanup process. The school's damage was extensive. 2 classrooms, a storage room, and the cafeteria were completely destroyed. There's no word yet on what caused the blaze. Officials say the state fire marshal will investigate. 1 man is dead and another behind bars in a homicide investigation in Berry County. Officials with the Berry County Sheriff's Office say just after 6 yesterday evening, they received a call of a body in a field near Farm Road 1078 and Farm Road 2140. Deputies found 25-year-old Dalen Michael Anderson of Monette dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Authorities arrested 21-year-old Dylan Rickson Williams of Monette in connection with the investigation. Williams has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. The Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Authorities filed charges in connection with the shooting death of an Anderson, Missouri man. Levi Watkins is charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action in the Tuesday shooting. Authorities say Watkins and another man got into a fight with the victim when gunfire was exchanged. Watkins and the other unnamed suspect fled the scene. The victim later died at the hospital. A car chase involving a robbery suspect ends with a St. Louis police officer shot. After the suspect crashed the car, he got out and fired shots at 2 officers who had been in pursuit. In the gunfire exchange, 1 officer was hit above the right eye. The officer was taken to the hospital, but the wound is not believed to be life-threatening. Authorities took the suspect into custody, and the police chief says he doesn't believe the suspect was wounded in the gunfight with police. A Fort Scott man killed in action during the attack on Pearl Harbor has come home. William Barnett was buried Friday at the Fort Scott National Cemetery. Barnett was 21 years old when he was killed during the attack. Friday's burial gives the family some closure.
For my grandmother especially, who for so many years just couldn't accept the fact that Buzz had been killed. They always talked about him as missing in action. So she figures, okay, missing, he's out there somewhere. And she fully believed for so many years that there'd be a knock at the door and Buzz would be there.
Barnett was buried with full military honors. Archery is gaining popularity in the 4 states. Whether one chooses to use archery to hunt or just for fun, it's important to know how to safely practice the sport. That's why the Shoal Creek Conservation Center is hosting events surrounding the fundamentals of archery. At Saturday's archery class, people of all ages showed up to learn how to properly shoot a bow and arrow.
It's a lifetime sport. You can start it as there were some pretty small kids in here. We opened the class up to 7-year-olds, and there's older folks in the class. So you can shoot as long as you want, as long as you're able, and it's enjoyable.
After taking part in safety and educational lessons, archers were then able to test out their skills on a course. A Washington State man's dream of creating his own engagement ring for his future bride is coming true, thanks to a very lucky find. 26-year-old Christian Leiden panned for gold in his home state. Then, after 5 years, he had enough to make the band. Then it was time to look for the diamond. So he drove out to Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds State Park to find the rock. After 3 days in Arkansas, using his own handmade mining equipment, he turned up a 2.2 carat yellow diamond. It's the largest that's been found at the park since last October, when a visitor found a 4.5 carat yellow diamond. Back home, Leiden pulled out the diamond to propose, and his girlfriend said yes. The two haven't found a jeweler to mount the stone yet, but Leiden says they're not in any major hurry. It's 5:07.
I'm glad she said yes after that dude went to all that trouble.
Right?
My goodness. All right. So best of luck to them in their nuptials. Skywatch storm tracker with rain mostly dominating out to our west, but we are seeing just a little bit in our highlighted counties right around the Eureka area. Ours really won't kick in till this afternoon, so we'll go mostly cloudy skies. Sunrise straight up 6 o'clock over Joplin, and temperatures pretty mild for this time of year, just low 60s. We'll see a 70 every now and then. But of course, we were talking earlier about this afternoon when the rain does kick in, especially down to the south. It is going to last all the way through Tuesday. Flooding going to be our main concern there. Go from the central portion of the 4 states all the way down, and we've got flood watches that persist into Wednesday morning. Cool off. How about 60s and low 70s Wednesday, Thursday? Then we'll get a little June heat here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Thanks, Michael. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, an almost normal weekend.
I'm Elise Preston with a look at how vaccination efforts are behind a return to pre-pandemic days this holiday weekend.
Plus, recognizing the importance of Memorial Day, we find out what it means to people visiting the Springfield National Cemetery. And the Kansas City Royals return to the diamond as they hope to pick up a series win against the Twins. We'll have the highlights. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Crowder College baseball team in Grand Junction, Colorado over the weekend. It's the Junior College World Series. Rough Riders dropped their tournament opener on Saturday, fell to Indian Hills 10-3. So Crowder on the field yesterday facing elimination against the Florence Darlington team. But I tell you what, after being down 5-2, Rough Riders come back and win it 9-8. They got 6 runs in the 8th inning alone, including a grand slam that would prove to be a deal maker at grand slam compliments of one Logan Chambers. The Ncba World Series is in Pittsburgh this weekend. Semifinals are already set. You're going to have East Carolina, Virginia Tech, Iowa State, and Oregon all still in the bracket. Before that, though, a little fun with the home run derby. This took place at Pitt State. Salisbury's Logan Shortall put on a show in round 1. He hit 4 of them, but not to be outdone, Virginia Tech's Jack Quinn. Biggest number in round 1. He put up 6 to advance to the second round. In that second round, East Carolina's Zach Nicholson. He got 2 of them. Little East Carolina Pirate pride. And 2 got him into the finals. Meet North Dakota's Matt Miller. Didn't have any yet. Need the money ball to make the finals. Well, guess what? He got it. Miller takes advantage of it. 2 more in the finals. North Dakota's Matt Miller is the home run derby champion of the Ncba World Series. And nice to see people.
It's crazy. I mean,
celebrating on
something
the
you
field.
ask
I
for.
love that.
It's crazy. I mean, something you ask for once in a lifetime, and I loved it. I felt really good in that third round. Really felt good to hit 2 out. Knowing that the guy ahead of me only hit 1. A lot of excitement on the sidelines here, and my teammates on the left field side came out here, dumped water on me, all like that stuff. So awesome to celebrate.
That's an awesome looking bat there as the prize for the home run derby. Royals hit the field for their series finale against the Twins. 2 teams split the first 2 games of a 3-game set. Kansas City trying to avoid its 4th loss in 5 games. In the 5th, Whit Merrifield singles to left. Cone in now, Hunter Dozier. Royals have a 3-2 lead. Later in the same inning, Salvador Perez. Get Merrifield on the bases, you know he's off. At that point, it's going to be 5-2 Kansas City. And then Dozier in the 9th slams the door on this one. Solo home run. Brian Dozier has 6 this season as the Royals take the series from the Twins, win it 6-3. National League action. Cards try to sweep Arizona and pick up their 5th straight, but Arizona says, no, we've had enough losing. They've been on, man, they can't get off the schneid lately. D-backs been terrible. Cardinals fall 9-2. St. Louis back at it tonight. They're on the road against the Dodgers. Royals going to open up a series against the Pirates. Webb City girls in the state quarterfinals for the first time in program history. Tuesday, Webb City beat Willard 4-2 in the sectional round to earn a spot in the quarters. Saturday, Cards on the field against Union, aiming to move on to their first Final Four. 20 minutes in, Union's Mia Smith. She goes back net. Wildcats with the first goal of the day. Delaney Duke busy in goal early for Webb City. Duke, diving stop on the shot by Maya Minor. Minor gets another chance off the pass from Mia Smith. She will not let this one. Union's second goal, Cards go down 3-0 at the half. Second half, Emily gave her second goal of the day for the Wildcats. Now in the final minutes, penalty kick for Webb City's Ania Bimo. Drill that thing! Webb City avoids the shutout, but their season, it's a very successful season, comes to an end in the state quarterfinals as Union wins it 6-1.
Their aggression and pace out of the gate was hard to handle, and being against the wind early on. You just got to give them credit where credit's due. They were a good team. They were better than us today, and there's no shame in that. All of the records they've broken and the accomplishments they've made, they've pushed this program certainly to new heights, so very proud of them.
Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, a new motorsport speed record. Tell you about Fabio Barone lightning quick time on a 2-mile track with dangerous twists and turns. Let's do a little weather on the 7s here. It's about 20 minutes after the hour. Live look over 7th and Rangeline, and we are going to be in store for a delightful Memorial Day morning. Sunrise officially over the 4 states at 6 a.m. straight up. Sitting at 57 degrees right now. Relatively quiet out there on a holiday morning. Look at all the rain hanging out to the west, lasting from Texas up through Oklahoma into portions of Kansas. Now, we've seen just a little bit intrude upon the western edge of southeast Kansas. Haven't picked up any lightning, anything of that nature, and we're actually going to be okay for most of the morning into the afternoon. But once the rain does kick in this afternoon, it will dominate the southern portion of the 4 states, especially tonight, all the way through Thursday, to the tune of flood watches for the southern portion lasting all the way into Wednesday morning. We'll be talking about 2 to 3 inches of rain for central and southern 4 states. Last thing we need coming off of last week. It was a quiet but busy day at Springfield National Cemetery as families find ways to pay homage to courage and sacrifice. That is the subject of our Something to Talk About on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. Bailey Stroll with more from those who are planting flags and laying flowers and how they plan to pass on Memorial Day traditions to the next generation.
A typical Saturday outside these walls, inside red, white, and blue. A day where relatives are weaving through headstones until they recognize a name.
I don't know, it sets you back, puts a lump in your throat.
These 18 acres are the final resting place for over 15,000 loved ones, many of whom veterans. Bob Moreland was looking for just 2.
My wife's brother, ex-Navy, and then her sister, Lucille, ex-military.
A veteran himself, Moreland shares why this day is so special and how he plans to pass the tradition on.
No doubt about it, my daughter will take care of it. To me, it's how expensive freedom is. Very expensive.
A few steps away, Jean Duke is going to visit her father.
Clarence Rice, and everyone called him Chick Rice. He was a veteran, and he also was one of the Philharmonics, the original Philharmonics.
Coming to honor loved ones lost and leaving a token of gratitude behind. She says she'll ensure her father's life is never forgotten.
I think that's very important in our history. And it's really an honor. You know, my parents were wonderful parents, and my husband's was too. And it's just an honor to keep that going so they'll remember.
Our morning Instapoll question, how many military members do you have in your immediate family? Let us know by going to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be back with Healthwatch next.
Topping Healthwatch this morning, the unofficial start of the summer arrived with the coronavirus pandemic receding in much of the U.S., thanks largely to the nation's mass vaccination efforts. Ellis Preston reports from New York.
We're here for a 4-day weekend and we love it.
Over half the adults in the U.S. are now fully vaccinated, and many have started to return to their normal lives.
Real relief and celebration to be able to be outside again and feel safe.
In some places, it looked like any other Memorial Day weekend. Beaches were crowded and stadiums were full. Millions hit the roads or caught flights out of town, many of them traveling for the first time since the coronavirus arrived.
No nerves for traveling whatsoever, but certainly a lot more traffic in LA than Austin. But it's been a good time. We've enjoyed it a lot.
Experts say even more people need to be vaccinated if the virus is to be contained. Many are also saying it's time for an independent investigation into how the pandemic began.
Mother Nature is telling us what's going to happen. There's going to be COVID-26 and COVID-32 unless we fully understand the origins of COVID-19.
It informs how we go forward and how we prepare ourselves against these threats in the future.
President Biden last week ordered an intelligence review about the coronavirus's emergence in 2019. Some officials suspect it leaked from a lab in Wuhan, China, a theory Beijing has vehemently rejected. Elise Preston, CBS News.
The coronavirus has slowed, but it remains a deadly threat. Last week, COVID-19 claimed more than 4,500 lives in the U.S. Teens who can't find flavored vaping products because of recent sales bans are increasingly turning to tobacco. A Yale University study reveals high school students in San Francisco were twice as likely to use conventional cigarettes after the city outlawed selling flavored vaping products in 2018. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Some Memorial Day rain working out in the far western portion of southeast Kansas. Heaviest rain is going to avoid us for the majority of the morning. Wichita getting it pretty good right now. Our day planner with mild temperatures today, mostly cloudy skies. Sunrise here officially at 6 o'clock. Just not going to have a whole lot of sunshine as it manages to keep us in the high 60s. We'll see a low 70 every now and then. But remember, we got rain that's going to kick in this afternoon and carry us all the way into the 1st of June. Bottom of your screen, heaviest rain is going to be down to the south where we've got flood watches that last all the way into Wednesday. Looking at another 2 to 3 inches on top of what we got last week. Mild temps until we get to Friday. Then the warm-up begins into the weekend. All the latest on the Skywatch weather app.
Authorities recovered the body of a girl swept away by Shoal Creek, plus the aftermath of an elementary school fire and how the community is coming together to clean up. And the latest on a murder investigation in rural southwest Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Zach Dodge in for Tanya Bach. We had a pretty good day yesterday on Sunday, and we're going to turn to Michael right now to look at what we have for the rest of this Memorial Weekend.
Kind of a neat shot here, Zach, on a Monday morning, as even though we have mostly cloudy skies, we see a sliver of sunlight there. We've still got officially 30 minutes until we get sunrise over Joplin, but like I said, just kind of a nice way to open it up. 57 degrees is where we stand, so a little bit cool for this time of year, but still very nice outside, very calm. We do have a little rain coming down on the far northwestern edge of our highlighted counties. Majority of the 4 states going to be dry all morning long as this band of rain that stretches from Texas through Oklahoma and then into Kansas going to stay out to the west of us. Now, it's going to change here by the time we get to the afternoon. That is for sure, because the rain is going to pile in, and as it creeps to the east and gets upon us, scattered variety at first, mainly to the west, but the bottom of your screen is just going to be hammered by rain all the way from tonight into Tuesday evening, lasting into Wednesday. It's a little bit better as you progress up to the north, but for the central and southern portions of the 4 states, whew, look at that. We've even got a flood watch for all our counties down to the south. That doesn't kick in until midnight tonight, but it gives you an indicator of what we're looking at as far as 2 to 3 inches of rain for our southern counties. Sets us up for the rain to end Wednesday afternoon. Then we kind of sit back and relax and warm up as well. Back into the high 70s, low 80s to finish off the work week.
Thank you much, Michael.
Not too bad, just we don't need any more rain down there.
Right. But thanks again.
You're welcome, Mr. Dodge.
We begin this morning with an update to a story we brought you last week. Crews in Newton County recovered the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by Shoal Creek. Authorities say they found her body just before 7 p.m. yesterday, about 3 miles downstream from Lime Kiln Park. Kaylin Brown went missing last Wednesday after being pulled under the water by strong currents. 34-year-old Trevor Hicks also went under while trying to rescue her. Crews rescued Hicks and transported him to the hospital in critical condition. After a fire damaged the elementary school in Altoona, Kansas Saturday, members of the community came out to start the cleanup process. The school's damage was extensive. 2 classrooms, a storage room, and the cafeteria were completely destroyed. There's no word yet on what caused the blaze. Officials say the state fire marshal will investigate. The Kansas Highway Patrol says 3 people died in a crash in Saline County. Troopers were called to the crash involving 2 vehicles at around 1:30 p.m. Sunday. The accident happened on I-135 near mile marker 82. 2 pickup trucks were involved in the accident. Officers say one of the trucks going north crossed the median and hit an oncoming vehicle head-on. Another person was taken to the hospital, no word on their condition. 1 man is dead and another behind bars in a homicide investigation in Berry County. Officials with the Berry County Sheriff's Office say just after 6 yesterday evening, they received a call of a body in a field near Farm Road 1078 and Farm Road 2140. Deputies found 25-year-old Dalen Michael Anderson of Monette dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Authorities arrested 21-year-old Dylan Rickson Williams of Monette in connection with the investigation. Williams has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. The Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Ottawa County authorities arrest 2 Southeast Kansas jail escapees. The suspects, Mark Hopkins and Michael Martzloff, escaped Monday night through a plumbing area in the Columbus, Kansas jail. The suspects, who authorities say were armed at the time of arrest, now face additional charges of aggravated escape from custody. A woman was also arrested following a search warrant Thursday morning for her alleged role in the escape. She's being held without bond on allegations of conspiracy to commit aggravated escape, aiding and abetting, and obstructing justice. A suspect is dead in Jefferson County, Missouri, following the shooting of a SWAT officer and a long shooting exchange with police. The incident happened in Cedar Hill Friday night after officers were executing a search warrant as part of a missing persons investigation related to a homicide. SWAT officers were surveilling a suspect when he became aware of their presence and opened fire. The suspect fired at police for hours and was eventually killed by police in the sustained gunfire. One SWAT officer was shot and injured in the lower extremities. He was taken to a hospital for surgery and is expected to survive. The dead suspect's identity has not yet been revealed to the public. And officers with the Webb City Police Department could be found at the Webb City Farmers Market in King Jack Park Saturday, all in the name of child safety. They were handing out free child identification kits so parents could add their kids' fingerprints and other ID factors, which can be a huge assistance to law enforcement if a child goes missing.
During that situation, they're emotional, they're upset. It's hard to get information out of them, or, pertinent information especially. Once they give us this, we have it. It saves them from having to, answer questions that they're not wanting to answer right at that time.
If you weren't able to make it to the Webb City Farmers Market, you can fill out a child ID kit at the Webb City Police Station or visit them at the Farmers Market in the near future. The department typically announces when they're handing out the kits on Facebook. In honor of Memorial Day, a number of volunteers from Easter Seals Midwest and Avalon Hospice joined veterans to place flags on the graves of other veterans at the Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City. More than 1,500 flags were placed in the cemetery. Some of the oldest veterans' graves date back to World War I.
Our veterans sacrificed so much over the years to give us the freedoms we have. It's something we have to do. It's something we do because we want to, but it's something that needs to be done, and people need to recognize our veterans more each year for the things that they do.
Today, 3 veterans' remains will be interned at Mount Hope at 10 a.m. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Healing and Reconciliation.
This wall helped save lives during the nation's worst race massacre. I'm Danya Backus in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where 100 years later, the city is trying to write a new chapter in its divided history.
Plus, calls to cancel the Tokyo Olympics intensify as Japan sees a surge in COVID cases. We'll have the latest, but first, it's 5:37.
Memorial Day Monday. Cloudy skies and cool temps, especially for closing out the end of May, but it's going to be a nice morning and early afternoon. Changes do take effect, though, as rain begins to work in later this evening, all throughout Monday night into Tuesday morning. And we've got flood watches in effect for the southern 4 states. Be back with World Watch next.
Topping World Watch, Japan is gearing up for the world's biggest sporting event of the year. The Tokyo Olympics are expected to kick off later this summer, but calls are growing for Japan to delay or cancel. The games are another COVID-19 surge takes hold of the country. Alex Hogan has the details on the ongoing debate.
The Olympic torch relay is winding its way through Japan as the country prepares to host the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. With less than 2 months to go before the opening ceremony, pressure is mounting for Japan to postpone the games once again as it struggles to contain a 4th wave of coronavirus infections. On Friday, Japan's prime minister extended a state of emergency in major cities until at least June 20th, signaling that he's determined to go ahead with the games in July.
As the highly contagious variant strains continue to change, the measures we take must be able to lead to a decrease in infections, so we are in need of more time than before.
Government officials and Olympic organizers have been steadfast in making the Games happen. This despite overwhelming opposition among the Japanese people, with about 80% saying they do not want the Olympic Games to go ahead as planned. Doctors, nurses, and public health experts have been the most outspoken group against holding the Tokyo Games this summer.
Having a large-scale event would pose an inevitable risk in terms of spreading infection.
Japan has one of the lowest rates of vaccination in the developed world, with only about 5% of the population fully vaccinated. The U.S. has issued a level 4 do not travel advisory to Japan as the vaccine rollout lags and COVID-19 cases continue to rise.
I don't think they should still have the Olympics if people shouldn't be traveling there. That makes no sense to still have the Olympics.
Fans from abroad have already been banned from attending the Olympics, but the decision on local fans has yet to be determined. Officials say they will assess the situation after the state of emergency has been lifted. Italian race car driver Fabio Barone broke his 4th world speed record on Sunday. He sped over a treacherous panoramic road along the coast of Maratea in southern Italy. He navigated his Red Baron Ferrari over almost 2 miles of dangerous hairpin turns and curves in just shy of 1.5 minutes, breaking a record. And while Barone blows past a world record, Mount Etna was busy blowing her top. The volcano exploded at dawn yesterday, putting on a magnificent show for onlookers. Etna spewed lava and released thick plumes of smoke, which reached about 4 miles into the sky. The volcano overshadows the city of Catania and has been very active in the last few days. Etna, which is on the island of Sicily, is the largest of Italy's 3 active volcanoes, along with 2 other ones that I cannot pronounce, near Naples. That's a look.
Classic, Zach Dodge. That was absolutely classic.
I wasn't even gonna try it. I don't even know.
I love being with you on live TV, dude. That was great. All right, Zach, I have something to talk about this morning on this Memorial Day, asking how many military service members do you have in your immediate family? You can let us know by going to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. And a very special thank you from all of us at KOAM and Fox 14 to all of you who have served. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Crews in Newton County recovered the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by Shoal Creek. Authorities say they found her body just before 7 p.m. yesterday, about 3 miles downstream from Lime Kiln Park. Kaylin Brown went missing last Wednesday after being pulled under the water by strong currents. 34-year-old Trevor Hicks also went under while trying to rescue her. Crews rescued Hicks and transported him to the hospital in critical condition. One man is dead and another behind bars in a homicide investigation in Berry County. Officials with the Berry County Sheriff's Office say just after 6 yesterday evening, they received a call of a body in a field near Farm Road 1078 and Farm Road 2140. Deputies found 25-year-old Dalen Michael Anderson of Monette dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Authorities arrested 21-year-old Dylan Rickson Williams of Monette in connection with the investigation. Williams has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. After a fire damaged the elementary school in Altoona, Kansas Saturday, members of the community came out to start the cleanup process. The school's damage was extensive. 2 classrooms, a storage room, and the cafeteria were completely destroyed. There's no word yet on what caused the blaze. Officials say the state fire marshal will investigate. Volunteers came out to Landreth Park Saturday to work on cleaning up after Thursday's flooding. The Joplin Little League says this is the worst flooding they've ever experienced. They say everything is fixable, but to do so will take a lot of time and money, which is difficult because they're a nonprofit. They hope by cleaning up they can get ready to play again by Tuesday night, but say that eventually will need to move to a new home. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tuesday night is going to bring us additional rainfall. Now, Memorial Day, Monday morning, early afternoon going to be okay. But by the time we get into Monday night, we've got flood watches for the southern portion of the 4 states as the rain will continue to come down throughout Tuesday afternoon and evening as well. Temperatures remain on the mild side until we get to the end of the work week, and we can finally let the rain come to somewhat of an end later Wednesday at late morning, early afternoon. We'll be back with more KOAM morning news right after this.
Chevy. Today, May 31st, marks 100 years since the race massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, one of the worst acts of racial violence in the nation's history, which left a prosperous black community in ruins. While the city marks that heart-wrenching milestone, Danya Bacchus reports on how Tulsa's black leaders and entrepreneurs hope to create a new chapter.
Have we scheduled for the Friday?
Guy Troop grew up in Tulsa, but the Greenwood district he knew bore no traces of the area once so prosperous. It was nicknamed Black Wall Street.
What was on Greenwood at that time was dilapidated buildings, pool halls, liquor stores, and churches. That was it.
100 years ago, Greenwood's thriving black business district was incinerated in one of the worst race massacres in American history.
Awesome.
Troop hopes to resurrect some of that spirit, opening a coffee shop to encourage a new generation of black entrepreneurs.
And I'm confident that there's a network of people that care enough and are their hearts are right that we'll do something great here again.
For that to happen, Troop wants the city of Tulsa, which now owns much of the land here, to return property to black ownership so that African Americans are not shut out of the district's resurrection.
If the land was deeded back to people that had some tie, I think that would be the easiest way to start to repair the atrocities of the past.
The Vernon AME Church is the only building that survived the massacre.
J.W. Williams, entrepreneur, owner extraordinaire.
My great-great-grandfather was a part of that resilience. Reverend Robert Turner shows us the original cornerstone where he is listed among the founding trustees.
This is a double-sided brick wall.
The original basement is still intact, where people hid from the white mob.
If you can imagine just being in here 100 years ago, hearing the bombs go off, hearing women crying, babies screaming, and you not knowing if you're next.
Turner believes there should be reparations to families who were harmed and a long overdue criminal investigation.
You know, people can give apologetic statements, but as far as this government and this city, they've always passed the buck when it comes to being accountable for what they allowed to happen.
Turner is adding a prayer wall here outside the church, a place for people of all faiths to pray for racial healing and a better world for all. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tonight, Gayle King will host a special CBS News special, Tulsa 1921, An American Tragedy. It follows more stories like this one. The primetime special airs at 9 p.m. right here on KOAM. Michael?
Yeah, it's something that if you have the opportunity tonight, I know a lot of time, resources, and historical research have put into that piece. I've seen some behind-the-scenes glimpses of that, and it's eye-opening, it's scary, and yet it's an educational piece as well to remember a piece of history that is extremely, geographically close to us. Thank you for that, Zach. It is Memorial Day, of course, and our question on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, or something to talk about, if you will, we're asking how many military service members do you have in your immediate family? And right now, on the KOAM News Now Insta poll, 2 being the most popular number, coming in at 50%. Look at this over here. We've got 5+ coming in at 25%. It is just amazing how many service members that we have right here in the 4 states. And of course, part of our 4-State Heroes segment that we all enjoy doing, and we've been doing now for almost 2 decades as well, gives us a chance to honor those who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country. You can participate in the Insta poll. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We're going to come back, update the Skywatch Storm Tracker, check out our Memorial Day rain, and also, too, look at our flood watches when we return right after this. A live look over television, or over 7th and Rangeland, excuse me. Absolutely gorgeous there with all the different colors. Now, we got to talk about some serious things at hand, because while we don't have a whole lot of rain creeping in on us right now, you got to go up to the far northwestern portion of the 4 states. Remember, we're a long way from over, because with mostly cloudy skies and eventual rainfall coming for us this afternoon, we're going to have flood watches for the southern portion of the 4 states. Now, they don't kick into effect until midnight, but that'll give you an idea of the 2 to 3 inches that we're going to have as the rain will persist all the way into Wednesday. We'll be back right after this.
Authorities recovered the body of a girl swept away by Shoal Creek, plus the aftermath of an elementary school fire and how the community is coming together to clean up. And the latest on a murder investigation in rural southwest Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Zach Dodge in for Tanya Bach. If you plan on attending a Memorial Day ceremony this morning, you probably won't need an umbrella, but this afternoon might be a different story. Let's go to Michael Hayslip for the first look at the weather.
Zach, check out these marvelous colors over 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Now that we're at straight up 6 o'clock, that is the official time for sunrise on this last day of May, the 31st, and Memorial Day. As far as our temperatures go right now, very mild outside, 56 degrees. We've actually dropped a couple degrees here in the past half an hour or so with high humidity. But with that temperature being a little bit lower than normal, you don't notice it. It's not muggy outside or anything. As Zach said, anything you got scheduled for this morning, going to be okay, minus up in the far northwestern portion of southeast Kansas where we've got some rain coming down. But everything heavy staying just on the other side of Oklahoma City and moving up to the north. Now, we're not going to get a whole lot of sunshine today, and that's going to actually make for a nice mid to late morning if you're going to be out and about, because it certainly won't be oppressively hot by any means. But after that, we've got rain that's going to kick in for this afternoon. Watch the bottom of your screen as it just continues to roll in from Oklahoma into Tuesday morning and dominates most of Tuesday. A little bit more widespread as we get into Tuesday night, and a good band for Wednesday morning, stretching along I-44 from Joplin all the way to St. Louis. With that being said, we're going to throw flood watches in for our southern counties, lasting all the way into Wednesday morning. Now, these actually don't go into effect until midnight, so that's how we open up June, with additional rainfall coming off of, where are we at right now? I was looking the other day. I think I can pop that up. Since January 1, we're at 18 inches. 18 inches. That's actually right at historical average.
Okay.
Right at.
Nice.
Now, so we just get it in droves.
Right, yeah, we do.
And so you and I were talking earlier about the amount of rain that we had last year compared to this year. I can now update that since we had the weekend.
Right.
It's now, we had 10 more inches of rain last year than what we have right now. We were at 28 inches last year. Now we're at 18.
And that's for the entire year last year?
Yeah, since January 1. Yep.
Wow.
That's something else.
Yes, it is.
Just give us a break, Mother Nature. Spread it out.
Right, spread it out just a little bit, but
yeah.
Thank you much, Michael. We begin this morning with an update to a story we brought you last week. Crews in Newton County recovered the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by Shoal Creek. Authorities say they found her body just before 7 p.m. yesterday, about 3 miles downstream from Lime Kiln Park. Kaylin Brown went missing last Wednesday after being pulled under the water by strong currents. 34-year-old Trevor Hicks also went under while trying to rescue her. Crews rescued Hicks and transported him to the hospital in critical condition. After a fire damaged the elementary school in Altoona, Kansas Saturday, members of the community came out to start the cleanup process. The school's damage was extensive. 2 classrooms, a storage room, and the cafeteria were completely destroyed. But members of the community and even alumni came out to help the local school.
You know, this is their school, so I'm sure there's a lot of students upset. Some of the people that are helping today went to school here, so it's their school too, And so a community school building is kind of an important place.
He says the building holds a lot of emotional significance for many in the community and is the center point for the town. There's no word yet on what caused the blaze. Officials say the state fire marshal will investigate. One man is dead and another behind bars in a homicide investigation in Berry County. Officials with the Berry County Sheriff's Office say just after 6 yesterday evening, they received a call of a body in a field near Farm Road 1078 and Farm Road 2140. Deputies found 25-year-old Dalen Michael Anderson of Monette dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Authorities arrested 21-year-old Dylan Rickson Williams of Monette in connection with the investigation. Williams has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. The Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Arkansas joins 18 other states in mandating public education about the Holocaust between the 5th and 12th grades. Holocaust awareness advocates point out that 31 states do not have such curriculum, and that includes in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. The resulting ignorance is apparent in opinion surveys. For instance, in a survey last year, about 63% of Americans did not know that 6 million Jews died in Nazi Germany concentration camps. 36% of Americans believed the death toll was under 2 million. And in one of the survey's most disturbing finds, 11% of millennial and Gen Z respondents said they believe Jews actually caused the Holocaust. Advocates say those findings are a wake-up call about the importance of making sure a younger generation benefits from the tragic lessons of the past. This week marks the centennial commemoration of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. The National Black Power Convention kicked off over the weekend in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Organizers held Second Amendment marches for reparations Saturday. Hundreds of people marched to, quote, show support for reparations and justice for Tulsa survivors with an overwhelming show of force.
We have multiple gun clubs, including multiple branches of Black Panthers who don't even like each other, that are going to be here together with each other in a unified march to commemorate our ancestors.
On Sunday, organizers held a reparations rally near OSU, Tulsa. Volunteers came out to Landreth Park Saturday to work on cleaning up after Thursday's flooding. The Joplin Little League says this is the worst flooding they've ever experienced. They say everything is fixable, but to do so will take a lot of time and money, which is difficult because they're a nonprofit. They hope by cleaning up they can get ready to play again by Tuesday night, but say they eventually will need to move to a new home.
Moving forward, we're going to have to build a new facility. We'll have to get out of here. The stormwater work is doing a great job clearing out the city, but it's bringing it all here. And the better job they do, the shorter time we've got here.
Joplin's Little League says to move, they're going to need support from local businesses and the community to cover things through material and monetary donations. Sunday was a great day for a picnic in the city of Pittsburgh, which worked out great for the Mirza Shrine's annual family picnic. These 4 state Shriners got together in Lincoln Park and encouraged folks to bring the whole family out for a day of fun, fellowship, and good food. The Shriners had plenty of tasty treats to eat, but also encouraged people to bring their own dishes, which they could share with folks and maybe even use to make some new friends.
Oh, it's great. I tell you, it's a lot of good friends, and we feel like we do something to help, people, and that's what it's all about. Let them get together and show them a little hospitality, and we supply the food, and they just come and have a good time, hopefully.
There were also plenty of fun activities at the picnic, including a Nerf gun fight. It's 6:07.
Zach, we're going to have a nice looking morning. Temperatures up into the high 60s, low 70s, but we've got afternoon and evening rain that will persist all the way into what's going to be a wet night and rain all day on Tuesday. 2 to 3 inches down to the south.
Stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, bringing vets into the workforce.
Construction site. This year, the construction industry is hoping to recruit veterans to help fill a widening worker shortage. I'm Lauren Blanchard. I'll explain next.
Plus, a look at how caregivers provide life-saving help to help veterans in need. And we find out how folks are celebrating Memorial Day here in the 4 states and around the nation. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. In Money Watch this morning, markets are closed today for the Memorial Day holiday. Despite inflation concerns among investors, Wall Street logged gains last week thanks in part to positive economic and labor market data. Kroger has big incentives if you get the COVID-19 vaccine. The chain is giving $1 million to 5 customers and free groceries for a year to another 50. Kroger will announce prizes, official rules, and eligibility later this summer. It's part of a collaboration with the Biden administration to advance vaccination efforts this summer. As you put your favorites on the grill this Memorial Day, make room for more vegan options. Whole Foods Market predicts vegan products, including plant-based hot dogs and sausages, will be a big trend this summer. The retailer also says vegan gourmet cheeses, plant-based seafood substitutes, and veggie-based kid staples like nuggets will be hot items for 2021. And it's not delivery, it's a donut. DiGiorno is creating a dinner meets dessert mashup with the rollout of the DiGiornut. I don't know who comes up with these names, but that one's kind of reaching. The pizza donut will make its debut on National Donut Day, which is June 4th, but you can't get it at your local grocery store. DiGiorno will give away half a dozen boxes to 10 winners through a Twitter sweepstakes. The construction industry needs help building America, and they'd like to enlist the help of veterans who bravely protected their country. Lauren Blanchard has the story.
Help wanted, hiring all positions. It's a common sign now that many businesses are back. The construction industry is no different. They need help. According to government data, this year alone, the construction industry needs an additional 430,000 workers. That shortage is only expected to increase over the next couple of years.
I believe we are the best kept secret in America.
Greg Sizemore with the Association of Builders and Contractors says they want veterans.
The reality is those skills that the military teach, those competencies that these men and women learn while they're in that space actually transfer into our industry almost point for point.
Veterans helped protect their country. Now they can transition into construction and help build their country.
Marine veteran Amber Peebles, president of Athena Construction in Virginia, says she's always trying to recruit former service members, even if they've never worked at a construction site.
Don't worry about you don't have the experience. If you have the right attitude, you will be able to rapidly advance your career.
Sizemore says if veterans are ready to work, they can be trained and have a career close to home.
When these men and women come out of the service, they go back to any hometown America, wherever that may be. I guarantee you there's some sort of infrastructure work happening there.
If the industry is not able to close the worker gap, they are expecting a rise in prices and tough decisions on what jobs get done and when.
If you stay in it, if you play in it, if you pray in it, if you heal in it, if you live in it, if you shop in it, these are the things that we'll have to make decisions on what gets built. So it's going to really slow down the economic engine in America.
We're growing, and we can't grow properly without getting the best people available.
That's it for Money Watch. We'll be right back.
Wide variety of holiday morning temperatures ranging anywhere from the low 50s in Monette and Miami to low 60s that we see in Chanute and Neodesha. Now, we won't have any problem with rain until this afternoon, but once we do, it is going to kick in and it is going to bring us several inches of rain for the southern part of the 4 states. Overnight, it begins to spread not only from the south but up to the north as well. We're looking at 2 to 3 inches along and south of I-44, leading us to flood watches that take effect at midnight. And look at that, last all the way into Wednesday. Take advantage of this nice morning because things are about to change here by the time Zach and I catch you on the KOAM News at noon. Speaking of Zach Dodge, we find him in Studio K.
Thanks, Michael. On the eve of his first Memorial Day as Commander-in-Chief, President Biden praised members of the military and spoke about the anniversary of the death of his son, Bo, who died of brain cancer on this day 6 years ago. Bo served in the Delaware Army National Guard. The president attended the Memorial Day observance at War Memorial Plaza in Newcastle, Delaware. The chief executive thanked members of the military for their service and offered his condolences to grieving families who've lost loved ones in the line of duty.
Folks, despite all the pain, I know the pride you feel in the loved one and that you lost, and those who are still serving. The pride and the bravery and the service to our great American experiment. Our military community is the solid spine of this country. It's literally the spine of the nation.
President Biden called for the country to come together on this day of remembrance. Several 4-state communities will hold Memorial Day ceremonies today. The Pittsburgh State University Veterans Memorial is offering a recorded Memorial Day program available for viewing on demand anytime on Memorial Day or later on several channels at 10 a.m. on the local cable access channel. The GAR Cemetery in Miami will host its Memorial Day ceremony this morning at 9:30 a.m. To accommodate social distancing, there will be a limited amount of seating in place, so they encourage everyone to bring their lawn chairs. The event will be live streamed on the GAR Cemetery Facebook page and the City of Miami Facebook page. Joplin's American Legion Post 13 will conduct an interment ceremony at Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City. The remains of 3 veterans will be honored. The ceremony will be held at 10 a.m. The Chanute American Legion Post 170 will hold a Memorial Day service at Memorial Park on East 14th Street at 11 a.m. in Chanute. Balloons will be released in memory of the deceased veterans who passed away this past year. We'll be right back with Healthwatch. Authorities recovered the body of a girl swept away by Shoal Creek, plus the aftermath of an elementary school fire and how the community is coming together to clean up. And the latest on a murder investigation in rural Southwest Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Zach Dodge in for Tanya Bach. If you plan on attending a Memorial Day ceremony this morning, you probably won't need an umbrella, but that's not the case for this afternoon. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip for a first look at the weather.
Yeah, Zach, our morning's turning out to be absolutely gorgeous, even with overcast skies. Gives you a great sense of the color that we've got over 7th and Rangeline right now. It is a little bit cooler than what we'd anticipate, but still very nice as we wrap up the month of May and transition into June. 56 degrees right now. Been talking about the rain kind of horseshoeing its way around us, and so far so good. We do have some coming down off our northwestern counties of southeast Kansas, everybody else remaining on the dry side. Interestingly enough, it's actually warmer where it's raining right now, as we've got 60s up in that portion, and compared to the low 50s out in the eastern edge of southwest Missouri. Now, it's going to be a cool and overcast day, but still, like Zach said, if you got morning plans, hey, we're in luck. Really doesn't kick in until the afternoon, and it's just going to dominate the southern portion of the 4 states through Tuesday early morning hours. Roll up from Oklahoma, that's where we're looking at the 2 to 3 inches, more widespread through Tuesday night. It sticks with us all the way into Wednesday. Flood watches for our counties in green, and temperatures really not warming up until we get to Thursday and Friday. Once again, our main concerns are going to be flooding throughout Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Zach, back to you in the booth.
Thanks, Michael. We begin this morning with an update to a story we brought you last week. Crews in Newton County recovered the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by Shoal Creek. Authorities say they found her body just before 7 p.m. yesterday, about 3 miles downstream from Lime Kiln Park. Kaylin Brown went missing last Wednesday after being pulled under the water by strong currents. 34-year-old Trevor Hicks also went under while trying to rescue her. Crews rescued Hicks and transported him to the hospital in critical condition. After a fire damaged the elementary school in Altoona, Kansas Saturday, members of the community came out to start the cleanup process. The school's damage was extensive. 2 classrooms, a storage room, and the cafeteria were completely destroyed. There's no word yet on what caused the blaze. Officials say the state fire marshal will investigate. The Seneca Police Department got some assistance from the Springfield Bomb Squad after police discovered a pipe bomb during a traffic stop on Highway 43 in Newton County, Missouri. Seneca's police chief says the bomb squad was able to safely detonate the pipe bomb. A man and woman have both been arrested for possession of a destructive device and are being held at the Newton County Jail. One man is dead and another behind bars in a homicide investigation in Berry County. Officials with the Berry County Sheriff's Office say just after 6 yesterday evening, they received a call of a body in a field near Farm Road 1078 and Farm Road 2140. Deputies found 25-year-old Dalen Michael Anderson of Monette dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Authorities arrested 21-year-old Dylan Rickson Williams of Monette in connection with the investigation. Williams has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. The Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. A shooting at a popular lake of the Ozarks bar leaves 1 man dead. The Camden County Sheriff's Office says it happened Saturday night at the Lazy Gators entertainment venue. Authorities found a 27-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Police arrested 2 suspects, but investigators say they're still looking for a 3rd person involved in the shooting. Authorities filed charges in connection with the shooting death of an Anderson, Missouri man. Levi Watkins is charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action in the Tuesday shooting. Authorities say Watkins and another man got into a fight with the victim when gunfire was exchanged. Watkins and the other unnamed suspect fled the scene. The victim later died at the hospital. Snakes are making their presence felt across the 4 states, so we asked the experts at the Shoal Creek Center for some tips on how to stay safe. Officials say whenever you are in a wooded area, you should always use caution around bushes, shrubs, and tall grass. But they say not every snake is dangerous, so it's important to be able to recognize that.
This is a western rat snake. Many people just call it a black snake. It's very common throughout Missouri and in this area as well. And it's also a classic example of a snake that a lot of people are afraid of. And a lot of those fears are kind of mistaken because this snake is not venomous. It does not go after humans, but what it does go after are mice and rats.
Experts also say clear your property of habitat that can attract snakes like wood piles or overgrown plants. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, debate on Capitol Hill, the latest as Democrats push for the president's $6 trillion budget. Plus, a look at some of the best and worst states for military members to retire. But first, it's 6:37.
Black snake fall on you, Dodge?
No, I've been very close to some black snakes, no.
Get in somebody's porch, they get up in the rafters and whatnot.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
sitting on the back porch, all of a sudden, 6-foot black snake fall down on the table.
I would have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah,
no,
I've
just
had it
no.
happen, man. All right, rain working around us to the west as far as our day planner goes. Mostly cloudy skies. Rain kicks in later this afternoon. It's going to be a wet night and a wet Tuesday as well. We'll be back right after this.
This morning, as the country honors its fallen heroes this Memorial Day, politicians are not taking a break from addressing President Biden's proposed $6 trillion budget. Democrats say the spending it calls for is necessary. Republicans say the plan could eventually leave the nation bankrupt. Mark Meredith has the latest.
The White House is trying to whip up support for massive new spending and tax hikes. This all comes after the president released his first ever budget on Friday. He's calling for some $6 trillion in spending. As Democrats claim, now's the time to spend big.
You can't get something for nothing. And in the near term, we know that we need to make major investments in our roads and bridges, in our education, in our health. We can't afford not to do these things.
Republicans argue the price tag alone could bankrupt the country. They point to rising inflation as a warning sign the economy may be in trouble.
Under Biden's vision, he will seize greater command and control over the lives and livelihoods of American citizens while completely ignoring how massive government spending will have on Americans, paying more to put food on their tables, gas in their cars, and clothes on their backs.
As for the president, he spent his holiday weekend in Delaware. In addition to marking the 6-year anniversary of his son Beau's death, he urged the country to remember those Americans who've paid the ultimate sacrifice.
I hope that the nation comes together. We're not Democrats or Republicans today. We're Americans. We're Americans who've given their lives.
The president's going to be speaking again today. He will deliver remarks at Arlington National Cemetery. In Tennessee, recovery efforts extended through the weekend after a small Cessna jet crashed into a lake. 7 people on board were killed in the crash about 20 miles southeast of Nashville. Among the victims, diet guru and church leader Gwen Lara and her husband, actor Joe Lara. About 135,000 fans filled the stands for the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500. The race marked the largest single-day sporting event crowd in the U.S. since the start of the pandemic. Elio Castro Neves won the Indy 500 for a 4th time, tying a record with A.J. Foyt, Al Unser Sr., and Rick Mears. COVID-19 delayed the 2020 Indy 500 until August, when it was held without spectators. Carnival Cruise Lines gets the okay for access to U.S. ports and makes preparations for sailing again. The CDC approved portions of Carnival's restart plans and gave a go-ahead for 3 U.S. ports: the Port of Galveston in Texas, Port Miami, and Port Carnival, also in Florida. The home ports will supply additional public health and operational resources before Carnival can conduct test cruises or full cruises. And there's some guidance for members of the U.S. military mulling over the best places to retire to. Wallet Hub conducted a study to determine where the best and worst states for retiring members of the military. The survey took into account how retirement-friendly each state was toward veterans in terms of job opportunities and quality of hospitals. Virginia, South Carolina, and Florida were considered among the best. Nevada, Vermont, and Oregon were among the worst. The study also found Alaska and Montana ranked highest in terms of veterans per capita, with New Jersey and New York at the bottom. That's a look at today's top health national stories. Now let's check back in with Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Zach. On the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll, to many Memorial Day more than just a long weekend. As Americans head to the lake or fire up the grill, others prepare to honor the fallen men and women who have served our country. Our question for you this morning, how many military service members do you have in your immediate family? Right now, 1 or 2 with 31%, 5 or more still sitting at 15%. You can make your voice heard by going to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll come back, not only celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, but also our 4-state hero on this Memorial Day, right after this.
We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero. Staff Sergeant Richard Riley served in the United States Air Force from 1958 to 1964. He was a member of the 142nd Troop Carrier Wing. His hometown, Fort Scott, Kansas. We're proud to salute Richard Riley, a 4-state hero.
Our birthday list off with Audric Allenbaugh. I think it's fitting coming off of Zach telling us about the Indy 500 that he is ready to rock and roll. Big number 3 for Audric. Happy birthday, kiddo, in Webb City.
And happy birthday to Gio Barcelona.
Hey, what up, Gio?
Turned 3 on Friday. I do
Oh,
believe
that's
so.
right.
Yeah.
Now we got a picture of him.
Right, now we have a picture. Writing something as well.
That's all right.
Maybe that'll be a theme.
I'll get on Mom and Dad for not getting that picture. Yeah, I guarantee Dad was like, oh, I gotta get that picture. Good job, Barcelona. That's awesome. A good-looking kid right there.
Yeah.
Eli Endicott, he is celebrating his 9th birthday. Love that picture right there, Eli. That's cool as can be, my man. Happy 9th birthday in Neosho.
And Jacelyn Clark celebrating her 9th birthday in Riverton. Happy birthday.
In Fredonia, Ashlyn Ratslap. Great smile there, Miss Ashlyn. A happy 15th birthday to her.
And Olivia Soper celebrating her 16th birthday in Columbus at the big balloons. Those are cool.
I've become a big fan of the balloons.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know why. I have been. I love that, Olivia.
Just makes it seem fun.
Haley Hensley, let the party commence because we've got a 21st birthday. Miss Haley, a very happy birthday in Pittsburgh.
And happy birthday to Kinsey Clark, turning 24 in Columbus. Happy birthday, Kinsey.
Heather Merritt, she is turning 28. Oh, a wedding picture. Congratulations, Miss Heather. She is celebrating her birthday in Parsons.
Happy birthday and congratulations. That's cool. Happy birthday to Mindy Profit, turning 37 in Pittsburgh. That's a really good picture too. Almost looks like a professional photo.
You don't know, that could have been a selfie. Maybe Mindy's like that talented.
I don't. But
right? We don't know that. Happy birthday, Mindy. Joanne Grant, put a couple 4s on the board. Happy birthday, Joanne.
Happy birthday to Dan and Mike Yoger.
Oh, Yogers! Yes.
48 years old. Happy birthday to both of you. Also turning 48 is Steve Couch in Joplin. Happy birthday, Steve.
We're going to kick off our first anniversary of the morning with
Yeah,
Richard.
don't let me do this one.
You want to do this?
Remember a few weeks ago when we had the anniversary where I thought it was twins at first?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Dodge.
Well, happy anniversary.
Folks, that was not scripted. That was not scripted.
Happy 5th anniversary to Richard and Linda Jameson in Pittsburgh. Happy anniversary, not birthday, anniversary.
Congratulations, Richard and Linda. And not only that, thanks for letting us laugh a little bit on this Monday morning. That was good. Susan Payne celebrating a 64th birthday. Miss Susan is in El Dorado Springs. Happy birthday to Patrick Ellis, turning 58 in Humboldt. And we've got Marilyn Jenny, who's celebrating her 76th birthday in Columbus. And that means that Carolyn Mitz is turning 76 as well. And the reason that would be is because Marilyn and Carolyn happen to be twins.
Woohoo!
Now, I understand that Carolyn lives in Oregon.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, okay, she can pick it up on the web, right?
Right.
Go to KOAMnewsnow.com, watch birthdays and anniversaries. No, not so fast, my friend. Guess who's traveling to Columbus to celebrate this Memorial Day and celebrate her birthday with her twin sister? That is too cool. Carolyn?
That is very cool.
Welcome home. And happy birthday, Marilyn.
Happy birthday to Garrick Alford in Crestline. Their birthday was on Saturday, but turned 45.
We'll pick it up. We'll make it last into June, man.
Yeah.
Craig Rennie, a happy birthday in Columbus. Marvin Bond celebrating his 69th in Anderson. And Zach, get this, 68th anniversary.
Wow.
68.
That
is amazing.
That's great.
LD and Christine Curran, they're celebrating, that's right, folks, 68 years in Altamont. We're going to cap it off with David and Mindy Eddington. They're celebrating their 24th anniversary. Congratulations, David and Mindy in Columbus. Now, over to Zach Dodge with a very important birthday announcement.
You can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club by going to our website and signing up. You can get special deals from local businesses. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club.
There may be
Our Something to Talk About this morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. On this Memorial Day, we not only honor those who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country, but asking you as well, how many military members do you have in your immediate family? Right now, 1 and 2 people sitting at 25%. And I think this is great right here. 5 or more sitting at 20%. 1/5 of those of you who have answered have 5 or more military service members in your immediate family. Mine that are alive right now would be 2. And of course, then if you consider those who came before me, Zach, that would be 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember off the top of my head as far as extended family, but my oldest brother was in Iraq did a tour in
I've
Iraq
never
as
heard
a
you
tanker.
talk about that before. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was several years ago. I was pretty young. And
very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And thank you very much to all of our veterans out there, too.
Amen.
But thank you very much, Michael. Now let's look at today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Crews in Newton County recovered the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by Shoal Creek. Authorities say they found her body just before 7 p.m. yesterday, about 3 miles downstream from Lime Kiln Park. Kaylin Brown went missing last Wednesday after being pulled under the water by strong currents. 34-year-old Trevor Hicks also went in under while trying to rescue her. Crews rescued Hicks and transported him to the hospital in critical condition. 1 man is dead and another behind bars in a homicide investigation in Berry County. Officials with the Berry County Sheriff's Office say just after 6 yesterday evening, they received a call of a body in a field near Farm Road 1078 and Farm Road 2140. Deputies found 25-year-old Dalen Michael Anderson of Monette dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Authorities arrested 21-year-old Dylan Rickson Williams of Monette in connection with the investigation. Williams has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. After a fire damaged the elementary school in Altoona, Kansas Saturday, members of the community came out to start the cleanup process. The school's damage was extensive. 2 classrooms, a storage room, and the cafeteria were completely destroyed. There's no word yet on what caused the blaze. Officials say the state fire marshal will investigate. Volunteers came out to Landreth Park Saturday to work on cleaning up after Thursday's flooding. The Joplin Little League says this is the worst flooding they've ever experienced. They say everything is fixable, but to do so will take a lot of time and money, which is difficult because they're a non-profit. They hope by cleaning up they can get ready to play again by Tuesday night, but say that eventually will need to move to a new home. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
I feel for them and everybody else trying to clean up fields, but the fact of the matter is by the time we get to Tuesday, we're going to have additional rainfall. As we've got mostly cloudy skies and rain kicking in this afternoon, flood watches for the southern portion of the 4 states that carry us all the way through Wednesday. I want to thank you all for joining us on this Memorial Day. Have a great, safe Monday. Be safe. We'll see you all
Today's
again at
Pledge
noon.
of Allegiance is from Neosho Heights Elementary in Oswego.